Boom, boom, boom. Abundance and gratitude to all my brothers and sisters. Um, I need to go right here. Abundance and gratitude to all my brothers and sisters out there. Each one reach one. That's how we grow. And let's get straight to the video.
Morning, you give them bread with sugar, with yellow 5 and blue 1. Then you put them on the screen. And then you give them more sugary drinks and give them more sugary foods and put them on the screen again. And then you get mad because your kid ain't sitting down still. You get mad because your kid ain't listening to you. You confused why your kid is sick all the time. Listen, parents, we need to take accountability. How a kid is a reflection of how your parenting is going. Okay? If your kid is sick all the time, it's not the kids for all they kids. The kids is trying to live. You the one that's feeding the kids. You feeding them all this shit that is damaging their body. You getting these kids high, and then you expect them to act a certain type of way. That don't make no sense. You wait.
Exactly. Abundance and gratitude to whoever this brother is. I appreciate this message right here. I appreciate this reminder right here. Why are we sitting here getting mad at our children, our star seeds, because of the chemicals and the poisons that you choose to feed that child? And because they're having residual effects, and now their brain is, for one, their brain isn't growing properly because it's not getting everything it needs because you're giving them chemicals. Obviously, that's going to have a effect on your psychology. And then they're getting sick all the time because it's having residual effects, and it's having a biological effect on them physically as well. So now I'm gonna just go ahead and state this: the prokaryotic cell does not get sick; it only heals itself. So I understand sickness is not a real thing. It's just the body trying to heal itself from the poison that you put inside the body. So my question to all prokaryotic cell parents, aka the so-called black man and black woman, if you have children, why are you feeding your children bullshit? And then you want to sit here and get mad at the child. Oh, they don't know how to sit down correctly. Oh, they're doing too much. Oh, they doing this, they doing that. And then you're eating the same bullshit that they eating, and now you're a grown ass child. Your brain is underdeveloped. So now children are raising fucking children. Literally, children are raising children. You can't even sit down and have an intellectual conversation with your child because you're a fucking child. Because your brain is underdeveloped. This is why it's important for anybody who descends from the prokaryotic cell, who descends from the first so-called black woman. It's important for us to eat according to our genetic makeup. The prokaryotic cell has a strict diet. We don't eat meat. We don't eat cheese. We don't drink milk. We don't eat bread. We don't eat candy, Doritos, Cheetos, Fritos. We don't eat that shit. We don't eat butter. We don't eat that shit because it's not good for us. We cannot utilize that. Our body, our cells do not want to eat that shit. It has to do, when you eat that shit, it takes everything that it can. Because first of all, you're getting secondhand um you're getting secondhand nutrients for one, because that animal that you ate just already utilized all that nutrients. It already used all that nutrients, so now you're getting secondhand. Does that make any sense to you? And then on top of that, if you actually start to study your genetics like you're supposed to, you would understand that the hydrochloric acid in your stomach isn't hot enough to break that down, which shows you that you're not supposed to be eating complex things. Meat is a complex amino acid structure, a complex protein. You cannot break that shit down and it gets stuck in your stomach. If you was eating according to your genetics, obesity wouldn't be high in us or our children. I'm seeing 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds that are obese. That is a fucking problem. What is wrong with y'all? Like, truthfully, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all are feeding your kids that shit, and now that your children are obese, You don't see that? That's child abuse. Are you fucking kidding me? That's literal child abuse. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Step it up and stop feeding your children that bullshit. You as a grown adult, cool. Eat whatever the fuck you want, but don't push that shit upon your children. Go learn genetics and go learn what the fuck you're supposed to be putting in your body, because you can't just eat anything. You have a strict diet. This is why we're suffering from sicknesses. Look up the top 3 killers of the black community. It's gonna be diabetes, cancer, and diabetes, cancer, and it's one more. It's another disease. But look it up. Look this shit up for yourself. And all that stems from the way that you're eating and treating your body. I don't care how healthy you say you eat, nigga. I can see, cause the body don't lie. I can see that shit. Y'all niggas that want to come up to me, oh, I'm healthy, I'm eating healthy, I'm good, nigga. I can see the mucus build up in your motherfucking face. Face all puffy and shit. Arms all puffy. Body all puffy and shit. You want to know why? Because you're not eating according to your genetics. You're producing too much mucus in your body. Your body. You want to know why you're producing too much mucus? Because your body is in such a acidic state that mucus got to come down and be produced in order to cool that shit off. And the mucus solidifies. This is where you get plaque from. You get plaque buildup between your bones. Now you got arthritis. You got plaque in the brain. You can have plaque between your heart. This is where you get you can have a stroke, a heart attack, because you're not getting blood pumping to your heart. And now you finna have a heart attack. You finna have heart failure. All because of mucus, because you put your body in an acidic state. So stop with the bullshit and stop eating that treacherous ass fucking diet. You're going directly against your genetic makeup. But let's move on though. Again, abundance to my brother right here. He's speaking nothing but the fucking truth. Stop blaming y'all damn kids. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Boom, right here. Yep, let's go.
And I need to stop letting people get to me, but I just have a very extremely low tolerance for stupid, ignorant ass shit. I just can't fucking do it. And y'all sit here and y'all wonder, oh, what is the disconnect between the younger generations and the older generations? Y'all set us the fuck up, bro. Y'all set us the fuck up and y'all don't even fucking realize this shit. And when we sit here and try to explain to y'all how the fuck y'all set us up for failure, you niggas act like y'all don't know what the fuck we talking about. Like, honestly, y'all are weak as fuck. Y'all weak as fuck, and I don't respect y'all. Y'all don't have no fucking heart in y'all chest at all. Y'all still spitting the same shit from 60 fucking years ago. Still believing everything you was fucking told. And then when you see a person like me learning what the fuck really happened to us, oh, you crazy. I don't want to hear that shit. How is that gonna pay the bills? All you niggas is worried about is money. The United States been bankrupt since the 1900s. Be fucking for real. So I'm having this conversation with this older man, and he just so fucking dumb. Like, whole time I'm getting mad because you sound dumb as fuck, and then you trying to call me ignorant. You really think the motherfuckers that put us through all this shit gonna tell you anything about your fucking history? They didn't tell you shit but what happened before slavery.
Exactly. So my question is to the older generation that wants that's comfortable in this slow death. Y'all are literally comfortable in watching your species die out slowly, contributing to a slow death, and you're content with that. Y'all are supposed to be our elders. Y'all are supposed to be the wise ones, but you're watching as our children get snatched up and you don't give a fuck. You're watching as young adults who don't want anything to do with this system. We actually want to get away from this system. We want to connect with one another. But y'all are so in fucking fear. Y'all are so scared to be alone Because you want to know why y'all scared? Because you're dependent on that white man. You're dependent on that white doctor. You're dependent on that white cop. Because you can't handle business your fucking self because you're scared. You can't go get your own food. You don't know what the fuck to do. You can't protect yourself, nigga. You can't heal yourself, nigga. But you want to sit here and criticize and scrutinize the younger generation, call us lazy, we're out of control, and things of that nature. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make any excuses nor exonerate the young, some of my brothers and sisters who are younger, who are out here acting a goddamn fool, harming their own reflection. I'm not going to make no excuses for them, but maybe if y'all got up off y'all fucking ass and didn't hand us over to the fucking enemy, and you actually taught us some shit, maybe we wouldn't be like this, right or fucking wrong. Y'all acting like, oh, because you put a roof over our head, nigga? Because you put a roof over my fucking head, nigga, you think you taught me something? Because you gave us some food, which the food was fucking poison, and now my brain is underdeveloped because you was feeding me poison when I was younger. You think that made you a good parent? No, nigga, fuck you. You ain't no good parent. None of y'all niggas is good parents. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about the ones who are conscious, who understand. I'm not talking about y'all, so don't take that personal. I'm talking, niggas know who I'm talking to. Matter of fact, I ain't got to say too much. If it applies, then it applies. But if it don't, let that motherfucker fly then, nigga. If the shoe don't motherfucking fit, you feel me? If the shoe fits, wear it. That's all I'm saying. The elders have let us down, my nigga. You want to sit here and call us crazy, off our rocker, say we're out of control, we're wild. Who made us that way? You ain't teach us a goddamn thing. You ain't teach us a goddamn thing. You lied to us and said that species that you handed us over to took us to their schools, to their doctors. This species isn't even natural to the planet. They are not us biologically, so why the fuck are you handing us over to them? You don't see a crocodile giving its baby over to a motherfucking elephant to teach it. That don't make no damn sense, nigga. Are you stupid?
I said, what's the point of going to school if you don't know nothing about yourself? He's talking about why is that important? Why do I need to know anything about myself? Bitch, that's why the fuck you like that now, because you don't know shit about yourself. I said, for example, what the fuck are they teaching the black doctors in the medical industry? One simple book about melanin will tell you that they poisoning your ass every fucking day. But you the same motherfucker telling me to go be a nurse and a doctor. Fuck out of here, goofy. Same thing for the education system. You telling me go to school and get an education. They not teaching us our fucking history. What the fuck is you talking about? They not teaching us our biology, our psychology, our fucking history, nothing. So why the fuck would I go back to school? Stop fucking playing with me, bro. Don't fucking play with me. They didn't teach us shit about our greatness before fucking slavery. They make sure to tell your ass that your ancestors were slaves every motherfucking year and test you on it to make sure the shit stick in your head.
Man. So you mean to tell me you can hand me over to this species and they can play on us psychologically over and over and over again, and we don't? But the younger generation, we're understanding this shit now. And you mean to tell me you didn't get this shit? You didn't have one thought. Well, these people right here, they grandma had stories about how they were mutilating us. Grandma had stories how they were hanging us. Things they had, nigga. So you mean to tell me that you understood that this shit happened? The older, don't act like y'all didn't know. Regardless if you knew, the deep truth about what took place during slavery or not, you knew that we were enslaved for over 400 years by a violent species, by a violent people. And they look nothing like me. A thought didn't pop in your fucking head to say, well, should we allow these people to teach our children? Should we take our children to their doctors? You don't. What the fuck? Man, hell no.
And that's why that's where that self-hatred shit comes from. Okay? So yeah, you all heads need to shut the fuck up and get out the way because y'all scary as hell and y'all weak and y'all set us the fuck up and I don't respect y'all. Bruh.
Every youth is going to feel like this. And I told y'all once before. See, the Bible is written in allegorical terms. When Jesus said, when I return, I come to set variance. One mother against daughter, father against son, youth against elders. They don't want to face the fact that you set us up, that we set the youth up, and we continue to pass down the same shit. And all these people that got these master's degrees and bachelor's degrees and associate's degrees, all these people that know how to articulate themselves all on these platforms and talk about we need better police officers. You are the worst of our species. You are the worst of our species. That's why when she got to the part when she was like, bitch, see? And this is coming out. We think, see, it's not just the separation from the prokaryotic cell in a complex cell organism, single cell, sun blood people versus animal DNA people. It's going to be separation amongst us as well. That's why I tell the youth, you should not waste your time on these elders. Move forward. Move the fuck forward. You was set up. The only time any of these elders found any joy in you is when they found joy in you or they was making money off of you during tax season or getting some social security or social security.
Exactly. I can't agree more. I mean, half of you niggas, half of you motherfuckers only have kids to what? Put your your baby daddy on fucking child support, make some money off of the kid, huh? Get some extra money off the kid. When tax season come around, that's the only time you nice to your kid, huh? Fucking disgrace. Y'all are a fucking disgrace, and I want y'all to know that. Anyways, let's move on. Shout out to my sister Jordan right here. Let's move on. So boom. So I guess we just forgot about this right here.
What the universe is pointing out to those that can't see. All the people that only using two physical eyes right now, I'm going to point out to you what the universe is trying to show you. Now, here we go.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Durbin, Ranking Member Grassley, and members of the Judiciary Committee for inviting me to speak today. As most of you are probably aware, I was molested by the U.S. Gymnastics national team and Olympic team doctor, Larry Nassar.
Now, Larry Nassar. Now, mind you, Larry Nassar is the United States gymnastic teacher, gymnast. Now, mind you, parents are taking their children, fragile minds, to an environment that the world is saying that this is success. The world is saying it. All the top so-called celebrities, whatever you want, the world, this is success. You are on the biggest stage. And when you're on the biggest stage, those that are a part of the biggest stage, if they are doing something to you, you need to shut the fuck up. You need to be quiet. You need to be quiet. Now, thousands upon thousands of girls came into this man's clutches. Came into this man's clutches. So I want you to listen to this again. Let me rewind it for you. Let me rewind it.
Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Durbin, Ranking Member Grassley, and members of the Judiciary Committee for inviting me to speak today. As most of you are probably aware, I was molested by the U.S. Gymnastics national team and Olympic team doctor, Larry Nassar. And in actuality, he turned out to be more of a pedophile than he was a doctor.
This was a doctor that was pedophile, touching. Now I want you to listen to the rest of this.
What I'm trying to bring to your attention today is something incredibly disturbing and illegal. After telling my entire story of abuse to the FBI in the summer of 2015, not only did the FBI not report my abuse, but when they eventually documented my report 17 months later, they made entirely false claims about what I said.
Now, this is where I say to my sisters, we're going to get into this, but this is why I say to my sisters that you are being manipulated to further destroy your race. You are being manipulated. This system backs child molestation. This world backs child abuse. Long as you ain't doing it though. This is how this whole world was built. Off of child abuse. Child abuse. This is how this whole world in existence has come about. These people off of child abuse.
Exactly. So you hear the girl right here saying that Larry Nassar, go do your homework. Look this man up. Larry Nassar molested her, and do you think it was just her? Do you honestly think it was just her? He's been the doctor for the gymnastics for a while, for quite some time, for a while. So do you actually believe it was just her? But stories like this, clearly you see this was on news, breaking news, right? So we can focus on P. Diddy, Jay-Z, R. Kelly, Ike and Tina Turner. Who else do we focus on? And whoever the fuck else we focus on to paint so-called black men in a negative image. And no, I'm not exonerating any of those brothers right there. I'm not exonerating them. May the universe give them exactly what the fuck they deserve, because those people are disgusting in a true disgrace to our species. But we have people like this that a lot of so-called black people do not want to talk about. We don't want to talk about these motherfuckers right here. But we love when it comes to the destruction of our own race. Soon as a black man does something, we hop straight on that. It's breaking news amongst the black community. But when a monster like this is exposed, we don't bat an eye. We don't say a word. And we act like it never even happened. Fucking sick.
Now, the report, not only did she speak directly to a FBI agent, the story was conflicted. It was twisted around when it finally came to the stages. When it finally came to the forefront, the story was completely rewritten. Now, this is what you call, let me say this to other races, white folks. I respect what you do. Now, people gonna get in there, what the fuck you mean, Kala? I respect what you do. You take care of each other. Black folks, we not taking care of each other. This is the FBI. This was a child that came in there. Now, imagine a child goes into a carbon being child, or any child for that matter, goes into an office, an FBI office, and say, a black man, listen to this. A black doctor, gymnast for the U.S. Olympic team. Now I want you to listen to what he did.
After reading the Office of Inspector General's OIG report, I was shocked and deeply disappointed at this narrative they chose to fabricate. They chose to lie about what I said and protect a serial child molester rather than protect not only me, but countless others. My story is one in which Special Agent in Charge Jay Abbott and his subordinates did not want you to hear. And it's time that I tell you.
Now, let me tell you why. This is why when they talk about Afghan, like I told you, they only speak about the men treating Afghan women. They not talk about what the men do with the children, as far as marriage, sexual encounters, because it's a cultural thing. You understand? I don't understand why you think when this white man speak English, the Arab man is not him. They said
Exactly. They share the same exact genetic makeup right there. An Arab and a white man, same exact genetic makeup. One just got a little bit of a tan to him. He speak another language. They're the same exact motherfucker. All of the complex cell organisms, they're the same motherfuckers. They're not the same amongst each other because of incomplete dominance, as I always state. But when it comes to being spliced and unnatural to the planet, yes, they are all the same. So I would urge y'all to go look up Larry Nassar. And I want you to look what that monster did. And I want y'all to sit here and truly think, how are monsters like this exist amongst their people quite often. I mean, it's all throughout their species. But we want to focus on our own brothers and sisters and try to paint a negative image of each other. People, how you stop that 111. All praises to the divine, you feel me? But let's move on. Shout out to my brother Denzel. As y'all know, I tell y'all to go follow my brother Denzel all the time. So go follow my brother Denzel at Denzel2Wodo1. And let's get straight into it. This a long video. He finna go in, y'all.
Species, all of us throughout the whole planet, and everybody outside of us has animal DNA, or they're classified as a eukaryotic species because they have a nucleus, and you can splice into that nucleus with ultraviolet light and take genetic information out or chromosomes out and put genetics information in or a chromosome in. This is why their species is classified as a multicellular organisms. This is why they have multiple chromosomes, because they have different genetic information from different animals to make up the organism that they have, which is what this chart is explaining. And as you can see, they have all these extra specialized compartments inside of the cell to make up the cell. We don't have that as prokaryotic cells. Here we got the root definition of eukaryotic, which means true seeded nucleus. So somebody truly seeded these people into our reality, because
boom, bingo. So if you watch my last video that I just made yesterday, then you will see that he's speaking nothing but the truth. It came out of the complex cell organism's mouth herself. She said that a group of extraterrestrials, reptilians, whatever you want to classify these motherfuckers as, something created these people using, what did she say, ape DNA. She didn't want to talk about what the ape DNA is doing to her psychological state, but she said that they were spliced with reptilians and things of that nature. No, you're actually, I'm not gonna get into the reptilians, we so-called black people, we created them. I want to let y'all know that the species that created the complex cell organism, we created them. I want to sit here and let y'all know that. So there ain't no way in hell that you're spliced with them. But she admitted to having ape DNA, ape genetics, but she didn't want to speak on it though. But yes, they are truly seeded. Look, a eukaryotic true seeded nucleus. Do you know what seeded means? Let's look up the definitions of these words. Let's truthfully understand. To seed is somebody had to intentionally do that. That's not natural. So where the fuck did the eukaryotic cell come from?
Earth or the universe is just one big womb. It's the so-called black woman's womb. So somebody truly seeded them into this reality and said that they were organic to the planet or they were natural to the planet. See, this is where we have shit confused. Now when we go back to the chart, it says DNA wrapping on proteins, which are just amino acids, right? So it says eukaryotics wrap their DNA around proteins called histones. So let's dive into that. Here you have histones are proteins found in all eukaryotic animals. They're the primary proteins used to package DNA within the nucleus of cells, meaning they're present in humans, mammals, insects, and all other animals with complex cells. So-called black people, we don't have animal DNA and we're not humans. We are the soul or the sun walking in the flesh. So this is pertaining to one haplogroup, which is that so-called human race within themselves. Everybody outside the so-called black race, you see what I'm saying? Everybody who has a eukaryotic anatomy holds about 50 trillion cells. 25 trillion of those cells are eukaryotic cells, and the other half is the animal genetics that speak through one nucleus. You see what I'm saying? And this slows down the process of mitosis because you have all these different animal genetics within a cell asking for different proteins to better structure that cell. So the cell doesn't know what it's formulating into. Now we're focusing on prokaryotic cells, which pertain to the so-called black race, no matter where we are on the globe. And here it tells you that we don't have no specialized compartments, nor do we have a nucleus. So you cannot cut into our cells and take genetic information in or out. And for the number of chromosomes, all of our genetic information stems from one embryological origin, which is the totipotent stem cell of the so-called black woman. And here you got the root definition of prokaryotic, which means before nucleus. And all so-called black people's prokaryotic cells are coded in neuromelanin and programmed by neuromelanin. And neuromelanin is just a biochemical substance that our ancestors called the soul, and it's the liquid computer for your whole body. And as we come back to the chart, we go back to DNA wrapping on proteins. We already did the eukaryotic side. So when we look at the prokaryotic side, it says multiple proteins act together to fold and condense prokaryotic's DNA. And what is DNA? It's just the genetic material that you possess, the type of melanin that you have. And we have neuromelanin, which is condensed sunlight. So these prokaryotic cells help condense the sunlight within our bodies. And here you have binary fission and asexual reproduction by a separation of the body into two new bodies. And this is how prokaryotic cells split inside the so-called black anatomy. And for the so-called black woman, she was able to perform this called parthenogenesis. She was able to extract the selenium and zinc, the sperm, out of her bone marrows, and now activate her own Bartholin glands and self-impregnate herself. And this is how she was able to undergo parthenogenesis. And here we have totipotent stem cells, and so-called black woman, no matter where she is at on the planet, she has these cells. And these cells possess the highest possible ability to construct an entire organism from a single cell. And these totipotent stem cells also have the capability to turn into any type of cell inside of an organism, including the extra embryonic membrane such as the placenta. So when so-called black people start to tell other people that, yo, we're prokaryotic cells, it doesn't mean that we're just one cell. It means that everything that makes up my heart, all the cells that make up my heart, all the cells that make up my liver, all come from the same totipotent stem cell, the same embryological origin. So now you start to realize why all of our women start to go missing, why whenever they're in their medical institution giving birth, they try to take the placenta away, because we are life. You see what I'm saying? And we're the only people on the planet who are single cell organisms. Everybody else outside of us has eukaryotic cells. And it says here, prokaryotes were the only life form on Earth for millions of years until more complicated eukaryotic cells came into being through a process of evolution. And these scientists, the whole base premise of their evolution theory is that we went from haploids to diploids, that we were in a hot environment, being autotroph people, having no animal DNA, and now moving into a colder environment, and now being heterotroph people and having animal DNA. And now my body rejects the sun and I can't biosynthesize the sun. This is why scientists today don't know how we went from haploids to diploids. You see what I'm saying? Evolution that goes against time, it never happened. So again, how how can y'all say y'all biologically identify with the planet? Because now this is what my people gonna have to start asking y'all. Where do y'all come from? What is your biological identification to the planet? Why does your body reject the sun? These are the type of questions we have to be asking them. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't naturally belong here. They don't belong here. Our women, our children are all going missing at an alarming rate by the same people who share their genetic makeup. So we need to start stepping up and knowing who we are down to the molecular abundance and gratitude.
Exactly, abundance and gratitude to my brother right there. Yes, we should be asking these questions before you take your child to the doctor. You should be having these questions ready before you let that motherfucker right there, that complex cell organism, touch your child, do anything to your starseed. You should be asking these questions. Simple. But let's move on. Wait, let me see if I think I need this part.
I saw creatures.
Now, he said he saw creatures. He said he saw creatures. I want y'all to get it. I want y'all to understand this. Creatures that have intelligence. I told y'all, Homo sapiens. You understand? I want y'all to understand what he's saying. This is facts. I back this story up. And I want you to listen to what he's saying.
That could have crushed me.
He saw creatures that could have crushed him.
Yes.
When you see those different species IRL, because you're gonna be able to meet and talk to these species soon. You are. They can't hide no more. The sun is getting hotter and hotter. More light is being revealed to us, meaning that we're gonna see more of the light spectrum. We're gonna be vibrating higher because our molecular structure is changing. So when you vibrate higher, you see the unseen. We're so dense that we can't even see the other realms, because all the realms are merged together. It's just you have to be on a certain frequency in order to see it. If you watch the TV show Flash, they explain that very well. They went through this multiverse, the multiverse, right? And all the Earths were in each other's presence, but they couldn't see each other due to how fast the Earth was vibrating, meaning that everybody was vibing at a different frequency, so that's why they couldn't see each other. That's the same thing with us. Because we're so dense and we're not vibrating fast enough, we can't see what's around us. So these creatures walk around us all the time. We just don't see it, but we're starting to see it because we're changing and we're vibrating faster.
And they was all in fear.
And they were in fear.
They all was face down, like to the throne. They was in fear, but they like scared to death. I had to ask permission. Could I pray? I had to create them out, stand, create them out, pray. I had to ask permission. It was like,
let me move fast.
Like every species that was ever created. I'm talking about. This gonna sound crazy. I don't do drugs.
Listen to what he's about to say right here. This is extremely important.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I know the world gonna look at me crazy for saying this. I've been in the celestial court. That's what made me question everything I was ever taught, because I've been in the celestial court. I seen it's like the ambassadors for every living species. They was all face down.
Boom. So when he says that, what he means is there is something, every creature, what we classify as insects, what we classify as animals, all natural insects and animals and things of that nature, they have an origin point, something that looks humanoid, that is extremely big, that's vibrating on a whole different frequency that you cannot see. Those ants, those bees, those elephants, those lions, they all answer to something that created them, that stem from them, right? So you're gonna see intelligent life forms that look like things that you've already seen before, but they're bigger, they're humanoid, and guess what? They can communicate with you. They're very intelligent.
And it, like the way Muslims pray, they was face down.
Right.
The gravitational pull made your face hit the ground. You couldn't even stand up if you wanted to. That was the first time. It was the scariest thing I ever saw in my life, because their fear made me fear. It was quiet. You ain't having no kind of sexual desires, none of that. You beyond a veil. You know, like.
So boom, what he just said right there. Their fear made me fear. So that makes me think naturally maybe he wasn't in fear until he seen other people fearing. So he felt like he had to go with the flow. I believe that he was connected to whatever they was in fear with. That's why naturally he didn't have no fear. But because he seen other creatures in fear, he believed that he had to be in fear because they were all in the presence of something great, not realizing that he was connected to the same thing.
Every species that was ever created, I'm talking about, this don't sound crazy. I don't do drugs. I can't believe I'm saying this. I know the world gonna look at me crazy for saying this. I've been in the celestial court. That's what made me question everything I was ever taught, because I've been in the celestial court. I seen it's like the ambassadors for every living species. They was all face down. And it, like the way Muslims pray, they was face down.
Right.
The gravitational pull made your face hit the ground. You couldn't even stand up if you wanted to. That was the first time. It was the scariest thing I ever saw in my life, because their fear made me fear. It was quiet.
It was quiet. Face down. And let me show you who they was face down to. Hold on. Let me show you who they was face down to. Let me show you who they was face down to. Huh? Let me show you who they would face down to. See that right there? See that right there? Huh? That's who they would face down to. That's who they would face down to. Face down. And I'm going to go back to this video. Look at the red sun and look at the star. Huh? They were face down. Face down. You have no idea, my brothers and sisters. You have no idea what's coming this way. No idea. There will be.
Y'all better start realizing the truth. So-called black people, you created every speech. I'm trying to tell you. Listen to me when I say this, my people. Listen to me when I say this. You are the creators of life, specifically the black woman. You gotta understand, you didn't just black woman. Listen. You want to know why a lot of people hold you accountable and are now holding you to a higher standard? Because you don't even realize your own motherfucking greatness. You didn't just create the black man. You created all these motherfucking species. To the ant, to the honeybee, to the lion. You created all that shit. To the tree that gives us oxygen. You created all of that shit. Do you not understand? And you're gonna realize that once this veil is removed and we're being exposed to all this sunlight and we're starting to vibrate high, you're gonna see all these different creatures, and guess what? They're gonna be heads down for you. Because they understand that you're the creator. We're directly the closest thing to the cosmos. We finna understand that. But anyway, I'm done with this video. Let me move on. Boom, right here. Let's get straight to it.
8-year-old son. Okay, there's a reason why I'm emphasizing that, and you're about to know why. So my wife and I are waiting in the room with our son, and the doctor comes in. And he sees my son sitting there on the table, and the first question that he asks him is, "Are you a boy or are you a girl?" And I look at my wife like, what the? So luckily my son understands obvious tenets of biology at 3 years old and says that he's a boy, just like his chart says. So the rest of the appointment, I can't even focus because I'm wondering why in the world this guy is asking the question. And then I remember, oh yeah, I live in California. And call me paranoid, but this is where I think we're heading based on other things that have happened. An Ohio couple lost custody of their teenager for refusing them hormone treatment. And a divorced Texas couple were in a court battle over whether or not to let their 7-year-old transition from a boy to a girl. And many are saying that the new proposed Equality Act could lead to more parents losing custody of their kids who want gender transition. So again, call me paranoid, but I'm wondering if the doctor is asking the question of my son to see if he can establish a pattern over time that shows that my son wants to be a girl. And being in California, this is probably going to happen to people like me first. But I don't think it's going to be long before we start seeing parents lose custody of their young kids because they're not letting them transition to the opposite gender. And I think pediatricians are going to be the ones who are going to start calling it out.
That's sad. 3 years old, my people. Now, I have to ask my people something. Do that sound normal to you? Do that sound like something that we are putting into law? Or do that sound like something another species is putting into law and we're just complaining about it while we're subjugating our children to this? That's all I want to ask you. So when we ask why, Kala, why you say slavery was a choice, why do you say that we had our brothers and sisters, they would come down right here, right now, that they would slaughter 99.9% of adults on this fucking planet. I mean, grown children, you will be slaughtered for what you are doing, what you are subjugating your children to. That's period, point blank and simple. And everybody knows what's going on around the planet, but we choose to turn a deaf ear and a blind eye and just go on about our fucking happy old day with fucking loud music, fancy ass clothes, drinking, smoking motherfucking pot. I mean, we just do all the shit to turn a deaf ear and a blind eye. And this don't just apply to my species. This apply to every last one of y'all. Because y'all fucking people are out of pocket. To sit there and think that you're the same. Do you really think that nigga Xi Jinping is the same as his people that's walking on the street? That's a suit with something in it. And y'all don't realize that. You really think Joe Biden and the rest of them clowns in these suits in America, you really think that they you? They're not you. Y'all fucking unbelievable. But because you are afraid of what you think, how black people will look at you by actually exposing the truth. And the truth lies in, hey, listen, man, we really don't belong here. You understand? Or if we don't belong here, we had an opportunity to be here, but we squandered our privileges because of what? Let me show you this. Let me show you this. Let me play this. See, this is when you calling some shit out and being real. This is what you call being real. Listen to this shit here.
History of the United States is 100% based on human trafficking. 100%. Our country's foundation is human trafficking. They fucking kidnapped black people and made them work for free. George Washington, did you know this, was the #1 slaveholder in Virginia, wherever the fuck he was? Yeah, he was the #1 slaveholder. George Washington was a human trafficker. Supposedly his...
And I mean, not just him. James K. Polk as well. I live here where they have the house where James K. Polk grew up, and they took me as a child. They took me to this nigga's home. A slave owner. They took me to a slave owner's home, nigga. As a child, we walked there. I kid you not. They took me to a slave owner's fucking home. And this is why I don't worship the dollar. This is why I don't give a fuck about money. Y'all niggas can give a fuck about money all y'all want. Go ahead. But it was built off the backs of my people. Why the fuck would I respect money? Why would I give a fuck about money? I go and get it because that's how the world is, and I have to navigate for now. But I understand this shit is being shut down, so I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be honest, I don't give a fuck. But this is a disgrace to the so-called black people, the so-called black race, that y'all are chasing money. Dead president. I need dead presidents. I need money. I'm trying to get this money. Do research on everybody on those dollar bills that y'all love so much. Slave owners. Fuck wrong with y'all?
Wooden teeth thing, it was slave teeth. In his mouth, the teeth of people that were kidnapped that he was making work for free. This makes Dahmer look like a fucking Boy Scout.
And this is factual. This makes Jeffrey Dahmer and all these other sick what's his name? Cowboy Bundy. It makes these motherfuckers look like Girl and Boy Scouts, my people. Your forefathers, other races of people. Let me get off here for 1 second. Other races of people Your forefathers did some of the most, they won't even put it in the slave movies. They would never put this shit in a slave. And then you know what? This is how you know George Washington wasn't you. Because listen, as much as he taught you and trained you to hate black people, why the fuck would he take our teeth and put them in his mouth so he can eat with them? Why he just didn't get white people teeth? Why would he come and get our teeth? Because it's something unique about us that runs through us. That's why they want to pull your fucking wisdom tooth out of your fucking mouth. All your wisdom teeth need to be pulled out, all this shit. Your teeth is connected to your brain, people. Y'all don't understand this. So when they pull that shit from you, they're taking things from you. And they don't even give you your wisdom tooth. When they pull the shit out, you can't have it. They take it from you. Why? What type of shit is these people into? Huh? Hold on, let me get back over here so I can play this video.
Yes, I would have to agree right there that complex cell organism, your forefathers were some of the most gruesome killers, abusers, and overall just outright genocidal abusers. I can't even conjure the words for what the fuck they were. You think Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy is bad? Who else? John Gacy Wayne, whatever the fuck that motherfucker's name is, or even the young boy that I showed. What's bro name? I forgot whatever they said his name was. The 19-year-old killer who wanted to know what it was like to kill somebody, so he killed a homeless man. He was 19 years old. You think that they're bad? Do some research on your fucking forefathers, your bloodline. Richard Nixon's bloodline. I went to school with somebody who was literally directly connected to him through blood. So y'all are still walking amongst us, whether you want to admit it or not. If you have the same last name, you're connected by blood. That's your family. So the Washingtons, and guess what? So-called black people, we're not connected. You was just a slave owner. My last name, I ain't gonna say my last name on here, but I have a slave last name. There was a plantation for my people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my cousin's last name, shout out to my cousin. My cousin's last name, he has a slave last name. My dad's last name is a slave last name. We don't have no real last names. We were property. So you want to be proud of it? Some of these niggas is proud of these names and shit. Whole time you proud to be a slave, nigga. That just shows how you're property of somebody else. Fuck is wrong with y'all niggas? Y'all better realize. Moving on. Boom. Shout out to my sister. Let's go. She finna go hard.
So I just had to unpack this for a second. So the sister said in the Bible and the Quran, it says it's a sin to eat pigs. They don't have hooves. Jeffrey Dahmer said people taste like pork also. This eukaryotic woman commented and said Jeffrey Dahmer's victims were all black, so that debunks your claim that white people come from pigs. Next. Ma'am. So I responded, this just is explaining the neurological issues y'all have as a species. Explains my point of view coming from an animalistic haplogroup, and as a white man, he has animal neurotransmitters on his tongue. Now debunk that. See, you gotta start getting their ass with all of this shit. You gotta start getting their ass out of here because that's what the sun is doing. So again, when we're talking about humans, we're talking about one particular haplogroup. So this is your people, ma'am. Humans, this is you, this is your haplogroup, and pigs share 98% of the same. They literally saying pigs and humans. So this is what the sister was explaining. The sister didn't say nothing wrong. Your scientists and your historians ain't been saying nothing wrong about y'all. The problem is y'all not really addressing the real issue. So I just had to unpack this for the.
Shout out to my sister. If y'all want to go follow her TikTok, it is J Shawty with 2 Y's and an underscore. And I want to speak a little bit on this. Yes, I completely agree when she says you have to really get into it. Know what the fuck you're talking about. Stop believing in things and know. because these people are going to try to come with every tactic in the book in order to make it seem as if we're all the same species when we're not. We're not connected to those people at all. Not at all. Why? Let me ask y'all. Let me explain something to y'all, my people. The only reason so-called white people are not tripping out right now is because they're so heavily distracted. Do you not know that? They gave them TV, jobs, video games, social media, things of that nature. They gave them a whole bunch of stuff to keep these motherfuckers distracted, because if they was amongst themselves, or if they was just here with no distractions and they just were thinking, do you not know what they think about? Their entire thought process is sinister, because they're directly and genetically connected with violent animals. This is why they had to create heavy distractions for these niggas. Why do you think when the white man loses his job, this nigga go home and kill his motherfucking wife and his kids and then kills himself? Look up cases. That's happened multiple times. The white man, this nigga was gonna crash out because he lost his number one distraction. You think that these niggas are harder workers than you and they're just living the better life? No, these niggas, they need that distraction because they understand the thoughts that they're having. So they pick up extra hours and extra shifts because they don't want to think about that shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's move on. Shout out to my sister right here. Very informative as always. And as I said, go follow her. Boom. Y'all ain't heard of this, huh? Let's go.
What they're doing is very necessary to protect us. So the story goes that in the 1960s, there was a black man in Africa who came in with abilities complementary to those of Jesus. And he was performing miracles. He was starting to get people to listen to what he had to say. And the cabal tried to kill him. And, they could shoot him in the head and his skull would just regenerate and the flesh would grow back and he was fine. And, so the crazy story that I heard, and remember, I was told at the time that if I disclosed this, that I would be killed. And I ended up putting it in the book anyway. But the story was that this guy, they finally said, okay, we're going to bring you to the United Nations and share your message with the world. Let's get you on this flight. They bring him on this flight, and instead of bringing him to the United Nations, they shot him repeatedly, and then actually had some kind of meat grinder device, and basically like a bandsaw, I guess, and sawed up his body into a whole bunch of pieces, put him in these very like radioactive shielded containers, and then had all these fighter jets dock with the plane and fly his body parts to all corners of the world, where then these containers turned them into ash. And they thought that maybe this would defeat him, like that his body somehow, the tissue was necessary. So if they destroyed all the tissue in all these places across the world, maybe they could defeat him. Well, he then regenerated in their offices and was fully fine, fully intact. But the sad part is that he said, you guys so badly do not want me to be here that I am not going to be able to do any more. You're going to get what you want, but bear in mind that in the future, many others like me will be coming, and when they do, you will not be able to stop us.
Wow.
It's starting to look like this shit real right here. Whatever he just said, because what did I just show you in my one of my past videos? I showed you the mothership, and they were extremely scared of that mothership. They said a big ass mothership is heading towards Earth. Who do you think? Who do you think is on that ship? What species, what people do you think is on that ship? Why do you think they're so afraid? He said that shit out of his mouth. There will be many more like me that comes, you will not be able to stop us. And just like I showed that video of Trump, I believe. Hold on, did I show that video yet? Okay, I don't think nope, I ain't showed the video yet. I'm gonna get to the video. Trump is saying that you're gonna see we know that UFOs are real. They're saying extraterrestrials are real. I think it coincides with whatever this brother right here said back then. Simon Toko, look him up. Simon Toko. Simeon Simon, I don't know, Simon Simeon Toko. He told you that there will be many more like him, and he shares my genetic makeup. So he said many more. Where was he in? He was healing in Africa. He was healing his people, his genetic makeup. And he said many more like me will come, and you will not be able to stop us. It's starting to look like this shit playing out. And this shit came out how long ago? This was 1 year ago, but 555. Come on, what I said, 555. Come on. But yeah, though, it's starting to look like this shit real. Let's move on, though. Many more like me will come, and you won't be able to stop us. Just like my past video I showed you in Peru, the Peruvian people that were getting terrorized by tall black beings that bullets could not stop them, and they were hovering. You think this is fake, but it's coming here, America. America, get ready. It's coming to you. My brothers and sisters are in that sky, and they're moving around. 108, 1 plus 8, that equals to 9. See, everything's in divine time, and I don't gotta sit here and do that. Like, you feel me? I ain't gotta lie. The divine is in tune with me. You feel what I'm saying? I don't gotta do all that extra shit.
Happening in LA. Look, people got suitcases, okay? That's the line right now for an electric car parking. There's already no water inside of the grocery store, literally none. LA, San Diego, both major port cities. The biggest ports on the West Coast. San Diego, LA, they're both catching on fire. Hollywood Hills now has a massive moving fire. It's all of the firefighters from California, most of them have moved to LA to try and support Los Angeles. And I mean, it sounds like a big chess game here that's going to get everyone fucked. Now, here's the problem. Power grid goes down. It's already gone down in many areas. No electricity, no gas, no food, no water, no sewage. Pentagon predicts that within 30 days of a power outage, 97% of the population is dead.
You heard that? 97% of the population dead.
So, get the fuck out of LA, send this to your friends. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying things are getting weird. And look, it's evident. I'm literally at the grocery store. It's late as fuck. It's packed. It's always empty. It's fucking packed right now. That's the fucking car line, electric car line. Look, it goes on and on and on and on. And those are all electric car things. It keeps going. Something is fucking weird. It's happening. My reputation's on the line. I am a very, very successful guy. My reputation's on the line. I wouldn't be saying this shit if I wasn't worried about it and if I didn't care about you. But I think that I should use my platform to share my knowledge. If you're in LA, get on a fucking flight, get the fuck out, try and do something, because if shit hits the fan, it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be
So where are you gonna go? Because this is worldwide. This ain't just happening in LA. Now, some places might have a little bit more time, but when that domino effect occurs and it starts to take place, everywhere is gonna fall. It ain't gonna be no safe haven where you can live the life that you want to live. This system is going to fall. No, there ain't gonna be no more jobs. There ain't gonna be no more supermarkets. There ain't gonna be no more of that shit. So where are you going to go? Talking about it's going to be too late. I'm glad this shit is happening. I hate this system. This system did nothing for me and my species. I'm ready to live with the earth. Moving on, though. Look, you heard what he said. Get out, get a flight somewhere. Where the fuck are you gonna go, bro? Where? Truthfully, I truthfully want to know, where you gonna go? You feel what I'm saying? Boom. This come on.
12,000 years ago. Our moon is in fact an artificial satellite. It is not a real planet. It can literally leave our orbit underneath its own power. According to the Andromedans, it was brought here from Ursa Minor, from a star system called Chauta that had 21 planets in it. It belonged to the 17th planet and it was one of 4 moons. Now, there are ruins all over it. The map is there. There are some pictures there. There's a lot more, which I don't have today. But it will be coming out. This is why the Apollo astronauts stopped going back. It's because there was somebody already there and they were told not to go back. This information is out there. Okay, our moon is 9.1 billion years old. 9.1 billion years old. It is in fact older than the Earth. Okay, it is many of the materials that have been found on the moon, minerals, don't exist on our planet. The moon did not belong to part of the Earth. It was brought here, literally. Our solar system has 8 artificial moons in it that were brought here. That can literally, underneath their own power, leave our solar system. And there are beings living on it. Now, the upper echelon of the world government know this. They've known it for a very long time. But they didn't want us to know because of the element of power. And we'll discuss that. Now, Earth has been colonized off and on for many hundreds of millions of years. The first race to actually chart our planet was a group from Alpha Draconis. They are reptilian beings. They're anywhere from 7 feet to 22 feet tall. It can weigh up to 1,800 pounds. And they don't like human beings. Not here, not anywhere. They were the very first to chart it. They were also the very first to actually have a small colony here.
Obviously, we know that's false. So-called black people, we were the first of all, we're the creators of Earth, and we were the first on the planet. So use your discernment when listening to this video. The Draconians were created by us. We are the ones who were on this planet first. I want to make that very clear. Now, with the moon being fake and not being natural to our solar system, I completely agree. The moon does nothing for the Earth. It has no energy, no power. It does nothing. So, what is the point of the moon? Why is it here? It's like it's somebody's on it or somebody's in it. I don't know. But they're always watching Earth because what was the point of the moon being here? Sounds like somebody watching this, y'all. I'm gonna just be honest. Sound like somebody on that moon been watching us for quite some time.
Here 809 million years ago. Now, one of the very first colonies or places that was colonized on the planet is North America, what we now call the United States. There are approximately, today, 1,833 of these reptilians still existing inside the planet. They have lived here for thousands of years.
And I would actually agree. I'm not going to say that number is completely accurate, but these reptilians, it's not a lot of them. I want to let my people know that it ain't a million or a billion. No, there's a very small amount of these reptilians still here. Now, the big boy, the leader, he's here. but he also got the goon squad with him. You feel what I'm saying? So his family, his bloodline, they're still here. This is why he had to create. First of all, they can't even deal with this. In the species, the complex cell organism that he created can't deal with us either. He just had to create something. He had to create the complex cell organism in order to get us mentally, because he knew that we would have dealt with their ass had they came incorrect. Let's just be honest. So they had to break us mentally.
Years, they live thousands of years. Their bodies are not like ours. They live anywhere from 100 to 200 miles beneath the surface. This is where they are, and it's all over. The planet is honeycombed with tunnels and caverns. There are approximately 18,000 what we know as grays.
With the grays, they're also genetically modified organisms. See, most of the species, they were all created. None of these, the Palladians or whatever you want to call it, that look like tall ass white people, genetically modified organisms. They're not natural. They didn't come from a different star system. The grays didn't come from a different star system. The insectoids didn't come from a different star system. They're all native to this planet. Or let me not say native. They were all created on this planet. Because you think the Draco reptilian race, you think they just created the white, Asian, and Arab man. No, they've been busy. They've been busy.
Between here and our moon, from underneath to the surface of the planet and the moon. Now, the grays. The grays originally came from Zeta Reticuli 2. I'm giving you the Andromedan perspective. I'm not here to challenge anybody.
If y'all want to go find this video, go to UFO Dave and try to, you'll see the video. That's over 500,000 likes. I'm not gonna use the rest of this video because I don't necessarily agree. I know that all these other species, hell nah, they ain't come from nowhere else. They came from here and they were created. But look, let me move on. Boom. Listen up, so-called black people. Listen up. Listen up, listen up, listen up.
To this.
When we lie, our bodies get very weak. Stick your arm out and hold it up. Don't let me push it down, okay? Now, I want you to do that while lying. And the lie I'd like you to say is, I love to vomit.
I love to vomit.
Say it holding your arm up. Say it.
I love to vomit. Why? That's so weird.
Now say, I love fresh air.
I love fresh air.
Yeah, I'm trying my very hard. Let's say it again.
I love fresh air.
Now say, I love to vomit.
I love to vomit. Why is that? That's so strange.
This is why polygraph machines work, because the body lives in reality. The body is honest. Only the mind, and only the verbal mind, can lie to us and tell us things that we can believe even though they're not true. When we lie.
Exactly. The verbal mind, meaning the conscious mind, not the subconscious mind, the conscious mind lies to yourself, but the body reacts to your lies. Oh, I can eat this food. And when you eat it, your body reacts to it. Stomach virus, you start breaking yourself down, high blood pressure, diabetes, and the list continues to go on. When you lie to yourself or others, you become weak. This is why our immune system, our lymphatic system, our glymphatic system is become weak, not just through foods that we tell ourselves that we should eat, even though our body says we shouldn't eat it. Not just those lies, but the lies we tell ourselves about our age, birthdays, these holidays. Everything plays a role, and it affects the organic people most on the planet. When we live a lie, when we walk in a lie, everything about you becomes weak. Everything about you becomes weak. versus when you are telling the truth and walking in your truth. You become stronger. Your stature becomes stronger. Your verbiage, the way you speak or articulate yourself in a group of people, in a group of settings, everything is differently. People would consider you to be someone that's vocal, someone that stands out like a sore thumb, versus someone that fits in the crowd when you are walking in your divine truth and speaking in your divine truth. Understand and overstand that. The body never lies. I don't care what you tell me, how you exercise, how you eat, what you've been doing all day, this, that, and the third. I can look at you. I can tell. I can look at your skin pigmentation. I can look at your eyes. I can look at your hair. I can tell about the smells that comes off of you when you got to put.
Exactly. You wonder why the complex cell organism is breaking down extremely fast. This is why when we speak UV dreadful, they can't hold a conversation. They got to get loud. They just got to do something to distract everybody, because guess what? They're lying and they know it. They truthfully know it because they feel that they're lying. Not now, they feel it. No matter how much they want to believe it, they understand that it's a lie. And this is why my people prevail. This is why we have to understand, learn genetics. And for my people that, oh, I eat healthy, I do this, I do that, but your body's showing me a completely and totally different thing, you're lying to it. Stop lying. Stop lying. What's the point of lying? What's the point of lying? You lie to try to... Most of y'all want to just lie. It's no reason to lie. The truth will prevail always. The truth is always going to come out. So what's the point of lying? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, stop fucking lying. It's having a physical effect. And like he just said, birthdays. Oh, I'm 46. I'm 47. I'm getting old, man. I'm doing this. You're programming your cells to believe that shit. Or let me not say you're programming yourself to believe that shit, but technically you are. I know that for a fact. You're programming each and every one of your cells to believe that you're getting old. Because guess what? The so-called black man and woman, you can do anything. Do you not understand that? Look at it. A lot of us talk about manifestation, but we don't talk about when we lie. This is why they say, be careful what you wish for. I want to take it a step further and say, be careful what you say. Be careful what you speak out of your motherfucking mouth. Because guess what, so-called black man and woman, you get exactly what the fuck you asked for. Every time. So let me go ahead and move on. Boom. So this video is going to go in with my brother Simon Toko. Listen to this.
Good to see you. Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah. Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange, and for some reason they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out, even if they...
So why are they not blasting it?
That's my question exactly. Why are they not reacting to it? Because they understand our brothers and sisters are in those crafts, and they cannot deal with our brothers and sisters. Have you noticed every time, even with the Peru situation that I just brought up, that I showed in my one of my videos, I literally showed you how their military didn't go in there and do a goddamn thing. And their military's not gonna do nothing until the lights come off, until social media is down, until the power is down. They're not gonna go try to do anything to them. because they understand that these beings, our brothers and sisters that are in those crafts, will annihilate their armies with ease at that. And that's gonna put everybody in a state of fear, and they do not want that. They want everybody to believe that they have complete control. They don't have complete control. Our brothers and sisters that are in those crafts, they can clean this bitch up maybe in 7 days. Probably less than that if you want to be completely honest. This entire planet. And I'm not just talking about the surface level, this entire planet. So yeah, of course they're not going to shoot at these crafts or try to do any harm to it, because there's going to be residual effects. And it's going to show that they can't handle what's here. So I want to go ahead and move on from that video. But yes, this ties in with Simon Toko. What did he say? There's many more like me that are coming, and you will not be able to stop us. They're not trying to stop them. Come on now. Boom, let's go.
Food, and then can't even figure out how to intellectualize or intellectually organize the world around us. One of the major problems we have as a people, we will eat anything. It is a measure of your spiritual, intellectual, and physical on what you eat. So don't fool yourself. You can't eat.
Don't fool yourself. This goes back into the video. You can't stop lying to yourself. Your body reacts to lies. You can't eat everything. I literally stated that. The prokaryotic cell has a strict diet in my very first video. Stop feeding your kids that bullshit. Go learn genetics and go learn you. The number one rule left behind by the cosmos, or even in your book, the Bible, was know thyself. So figure out who the fuck you are and what you should be, because once you figure that out, you know what you need to consume. You know what you need to be doing on this planet, because you know who you are. A honeybee knows what it is. This is why it contributes to the entirety of the planet by doing what's inside of their genetic makeup. We're the only ones going against our genetics. Do you realize that? So-called black people, we're the only ones going against our genetics. You're mad at the white man, you're mad at the Asian man, you're mad at the Arab man, because they're acting out of line, they're violent, they're killing, but they're acting on their genetics. They're not doing nothing wrong. That's within their genetic makeup. They're acting on their genetics. We're the only ones going against our genetic makeup, eating this destructive ass food, working a fucking job, and handing our fucking babies over. Are you serious?
Eat everything. In certain circumstances, you can't eat anything. And then you need to have your water. So
You just heard what he said. You can't, in certain circumstances, you can't eat anything. You want to know why? Because we're autotroph. We're autotrophous people. We're autotrophic people, meaning self-feeders. We don't need any external source in order to fuel our body. We just need particles. We need particles. That's all we need. And you're going to start to realize that, like I said, we're starting to become less dense. We're becoming lighter, meaning we're going to be vibrating at a higher frequency. This is the lowest we've ever vibrated before, my people. Do you understand that? That's why you need to eat. That's why you get hurt. That's why the physical hurts you, because you're in the physical. You're vibrating so low that you exist only within the physical. Failing to realize that neuromelanin is condensed sunlight. And because you're condensed, you're only existing in the physical. But as we undergo this change with ionizing particles, ionizing radiation, as we get these X flares, as we get these coronal mass ejections, things of that nature, it's making us less dense. Therefore, we're starting to vibrate faster. And when we vibrate faster, that means we're vibrating higher, at a higher frequency. And this, once that happens, why do you think we're eating less? Motherfuckers is barely eating like that. Especially during the summer. We're not eating like that because we don't need to eat. We don't need to eat. We're becoming less dense. We don't need to eat. In our natural state, we eat particles. We absorb the sun. We eat particles. We don't need food.
I think this deals with partially the conflict, or the controversy, I should say, that is the underlying tension. And I, for one, would suggest that we become more practical. We eat the non-food and then...
Exactly. Half of our brothers and sisters can't even hold an intellectual conversation without getting emotional because of the foods that you are on that's affecting your brain. The chemical imbalance within your fucking brain. You can't even hold an intellectual conversation with another brother or sister. They say one thing that you don't agree with, or you have a certain feeling towards. Now you want to get all angry and shit. As a grown-ass person. Like I said, we're just fucking grown children, bro. We're grown children. Literally. You are a grown-ass child. You can't control your temper tantrums because your brain is underdeveloped because you're eating the wrong foods. The prokaryotic cell has a strict diet. And once y'all understand that, we will be better off as a species. Go learn your fucking genetics. Moving on. Shout out to my sister. Like I said, go follow my sister, Jay Shawty, with 2 Y's and an underscore. It's right here. Go follow her. Go watch her videos.
And understand this, okay? Just because there are fruits and vegetables growing out of your ground does not mean that those fruits or vegetables are natural to the planet. Cruciferous vegetables are not real, right? A lot of people know that kale, collard greens, carrots, celery is not natural occurring fruits and vegetables, right? Bananas are not natural, right? Burros are, plantains are, bananas are GMO, right? Strawberries, GMO. Those are not natural.
Excuse me. So with her saying that, I literally showed you the GMO apple in my last video. So the GMO apple had no seeds, meaning it couldn't reproduce, right? It couldn't naturally reproduce. The same thing with this complex cell organism, the same thing with their species. Their reproductive organs are being shut off by the sun. They're being sterilized because they were never meant to reproduce. When they were very first created, they could not reproduce with one another because they're not natural to the planet. Only true natural things can reproduce. Only natural things can reproduce. So anything that's a complex cell organism, you're reverting back to whatever you share most of your DNA with. And because the complex cell organism is not 100% of anything, it is going to cease to exist. Because what is it going to go back to if it's not 100% of anything? It's going to break it down to its most simplest form so that information can be spread to these individuals. But they won't be able to survive long because, like I said, you're not 100% of anything.
To the planet. Cotton. Imagine they had niggas picking cotton, and that is not a natural occurring plant that comes out of the soil. This is something that we have to start understanding what's organic and what is inorganic. Just because it's a nigga sitting next to you sipping coffee out of a cup does not mean that he is conducive to the planet. This is why I get into it where I had to stop working, because I was getting into it with white people. I literally, when you start to understand phenotype, how they're expressed, when you start to understand, we didn't go from haploids to diploids, and you start looking at white people and you can literally see the animals that they are spliced with. Stay with me. Just because these people are walking around you does not mean that they are natural to the planet. If so, ask them what their biological identification is to the planet. They're not going to be able to tell you. I can tell you on a quantum level everything that I'm composed of, everything that my cells do before they even get to this planet and manifest in the physical. That's how we always were. I Am Hotep was the first documented multi-genius, but then somehow niggas don't want to believe what black people say when black people taught the entire world. I have a problem with that. You see what I'm saying? Our mothers used to take us away from her bosom just to feed the other species. You see what I'm saying? Why do they go after our stem cells? Why do they go after our women? Why do they go after our children? If we all the same and if we all have the same shit, why are you taking our children? Why are you taking our women? Why did you take Henrietta Lacks stem cells and why are they still being used today? Like, y'all gotta start questioning everything around you. If you're not questioning everything around you, you have no curiosity, which means that your soul is probably compromised because the soul is all knowing.
Boom. So I want to say big shout out, gratitude, abundance to my sister right there. Nothing but facts she just said right there. I don't really have much more to add to that. She kind of hit every point right there. So I wanna go ahead and move on to our last video. But abundance and gratitude. And I want to end it off with inspiration. So it just shut off the video, but y'all kind of seen the video though. Y'all seen the video. It was neurons that were connected. Oh, right here. So this just shows, this is what you would say called neuroplasticity. When you're learning something new, you're reconnecting your neurons. When you're learning something new, your neurons connect in your brain. Do you not understand that? And this was naturally supposed to happen with us, but because we're in a artificial environment doing primitive things, repetitive things, we're not learning anything new. Therefore, and then on top of that, the diet, we're eating food, wrong foods and shit like that. Our brain isn't learning anything. Do you not understand that? Why do you think some people are waking up? It feels like I'm living the same day over and over and over. Yeah, nigga, you're in a fucking cycle. You're in a fucking cycle, bro. And you're in a cycle because you're not learning anything new. Go learn something new, my nigga. Go learn something new. Practice neuroplasticity. Rewire your brain. And I want to end it off with that. Abundance and gratitude to all my brothers and sisters' videos that I use. I appreciate them wholeheartedly within my entire being. I appreciate them. Until next time. Peace.